I was watching one of your recent vlogs. I think it was
Mhm.
one of the more recent ones. And there was a scene in it where you were like climbing over a fence to get a shot of a car.
Yeah.
And that made me think, you kind of mentioned in it, you show the photo that you took when you were like, it's like a 10-foot high fence or whatever, and you're trying to climb
Mhm.
over it, and you take this photo, then you show it, and afterwards you say like, it was an okay photo. It was like decent,
Yeah.
but it wasn't great. And that kind of leads me to this question of how many photos would you say you take in order to get one that you actually want to show people? Like what's the ratio of like how much are you shooting photos and video until you actually land on like one thing that's worth showing in your opinion?
I think I shoot. So with YouTube is it's interesting with YouTube because like a lot of the time, like even if a photo isn't great, I'd still post it on YouTube because I think lot of the time my YouTube videos, like they're about showing the process and they're about just like showing how not every single photo that I take is an amazing photo.
Mm,
I do think sometimes people translate you showing certain photos as like, oh, look at this photo, it's really good. But I do take photos just to show like the process and like that, this photo may not be the greatest, but I did put it in here just to show y'all that like, I take regular photo, like,
yeah.
not amazing photos all the time. Like, but I take photos every single day. So, and I think it all depends on what I'm shooting. There's been times where an entire roll to me had a very good picture on it. And there's been times where I got an entire roll back and I was just like, I'm gonna put this in the trash. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's not worth it. So I think it just depends on what I'm shooting it, how I'm feeling. Because sometimes if I'm not up for it and I'm like taking photos of something that like I don't necessarily really care about, that kind of translate and comes through in a
Mm,
photo, at least to me, because like I know I didn't really care about this.
right.
So for YouTube videos, it's different because even if I don't care about something, I do try to shoot things that at least I still find a tad bit interesting and things that like mean a little bit of something. But at the end of the day, not every single photo is going to be good. Like that's just never gonna happen. I don't think any photographer in this world takes a good photo every single time they take a
Right.
photo. So or maybe they do. Maybe there are some people out there who just can't be stopped, but I'm not one of those people.
Yeah. I feel like it's
But
just
there
like a
are,
volume game because it's like if
yeah, it is for
the
sure.
more you shoot, the better you get over time, and the more you'll probably get ones that you're excited about.
Yeah.
But if you're not, because like you just said, you take photos every single day, so that's like
Mhm.
you're there's like this. I keep hearing people talk about like uh, people get lucky or whatever, but you can also like
Mhm.
increase your luck. You can create like a wider surface area for luck to happen. And I
Yeah.
think like that's kind of what you're describing is like you get luckier the more you take photos to get better
Yeah.
ones.
I think sometimes you just like, as far as luck goes too with photography, I think sometimes you just end up in the right place at the right time. Sometimes where the sun's setting correctly,
Mm,
coming through a certain window at a time, and you just so happen to be there. But I think the more you go out and take photos, the more you put yourselves in that position to be lucky. But like, also, I was talking to someone the other day, and I was telling them how photography is like a sport. Like, not like you don't. Well, it could be physical because I do be tired, especially in the summertime and I'm shooting. I sweat, tired.
yeah.
Like, I feel like I had a full days of work sometimes. But it is like a sport. Like the more you practice at it, the better you become at it.
Mm,
Regardless, if you absolutely suck, like most photographers do when they first start, because I did, the more you do it, the more you just like learn things and the more you
mm,
see things. Because like I don't think everybody's born with an eye for photography. Sometimes that can be worked on and like not really taught, but like you can teach yourself
mm.
how to just like see things like in compositions and stuff like that. So it's just like what doing history lessons of other people's work that you might be interested in, like that helps and stuff like that. I think it's constant. Like I work on photography every single day, even if I'm not doing photography,
Mm.
whether that's photo books, looking at photos online, just walking around and just like training my eyes to like see things like through my camera. So I think there's ways you can get better at photography without physically doing photography, but I feel like a lot of people they just like do photography, but like it's a lot more to
Mm.
it. At least for me, I can't speak for everybody. At least for me.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, that seems like it's also like in your nature though, because like I think
hmm,
I grew up skateboarding, and I don't.
same.
Yeah, you did? Nice. So I
Hmm.
I don't I don't see the world this way anymore. But when I was 13, 14, 15, when I was like heavy into skateboarding, I would see the world through this lens of like, could I skate that? Could, you know,
Yeah,
like everything, any stair set, any
100%.
ledge, anything. It was kind of like I felt like everything. My mind was just so obsessed with skateboarding that like the entire lens I saw the world through was like, just could I skate
Same,
that? And it sounds like that's
same.
kind of how you see photos now, where if you're like out in the world, you're kind your mind is kind of that way now with photos, maybe where it
Yeah.
was with skating.
Yep. I used to skate a lot too, and I had like the same thoughts. Like every time I seen something, like, could I skate that?
Uh-huh.
Like that's a good stair set. That's a good ledge. Like literally just like that. So I think skateboarding helped me like already put me in a mind frame of like seeing things differently and like going out and just like looking for things that most people wouldn't necessarily look at
Yeah,
for the reasons that I'm looking at it. So yeah, I think skateboarding. I think off. Like there's some photographer skateboarders that like, you know what I'm
they're
saying? And I
good.
think
Yeah,
photography and skateboarding just goes hand in hand.
yeah,
It's like two very creative things that like are very much like the epitome of freedom,
for sure.
basically, to me.
For sure. I feel like skate videos too were like I was obsessed with skate videos growing up, and they were kind of like they were pioneers in their own way of just like filming your own stuff. And like,
Hmm.
did you watch skate videos too?
Dude, I watch nothing but skate videos. I didn't watch
Nice.
TV, like
Yeah.
literally nothing but skate videos.
Yeah.
If you could see my history from like that time in my life, it'd be hundreds, probably thousands of skate videos. And like that's it, like nothing in between.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.